This flute, I believe I'm trying to think. I think you bored this flute.
Definitely, because I messed up. I told Maddie, if I'm gonna make an F sharp, I want the longest possible F sharp.
Yeah.
Right? And Maddie and I put, okay, so we're gonna bore it to here, and then you at some point saw that by yourself, and then you came to me and you said, Pablo, if we make the flute that long, we're gonna waste this piece of wood that is
another
here.
Flute.
And I was like, well, Brent, no, that can't happen. We have to use as much of this wood. So we changed everything except the bore length that Maddie and I marked.
Oh.
That's what happened. And then I went to bore it. And it was the second time I bored a flute by myself.
Yeah. On Dream Amboyna Burl.
Yeah.
So you were scared to death.
So I measured everything and all of that. And then I had it on the CNC, right? And it was going to go to start shaping the mouthpiece.
Yep.
And I stopped the cycle. I was like, dude, it was going to bump.
Yeah.
Because it didn't have that extra length.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's when you said, well, Pablo, we have a problem. Can we solve it? Oh, yeah, we can. Which is why I went ahead and I put probably my favorite wood, that big ring of Honduran rosewood Burl.
Yeah, dude, awesome. The really precious woods, I keep every little scrap.
I know.
Every little scrap, because you never know. Either you or someone else can utilize it to make something really special with. And Pablo, you dug through that Honduran rosewood Burl box. He literally dumped it on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look through every piece.
Every piece.
I got to tell you, I'm going to just tell them real quick about what we did for a solution on this because...
No, well, I want to say something before that. You know, you get... It's like, okay, I'm making a flute out of this amazing wood. What else am I going to put on it? Well, so let's bring a stone or this other wood, and you start putting materials together. And I brought this light blue turquoise. Mm-hmm. I was like, wow, that looks awesome next to the Amboyna. And then we were kind of obsessed with the pale moon, and I put the pale moon next to it. I was like, dude, look at this. This looks amazing.
It looked great.
It did. So I went ahead and I made it. I put pale moon shoulders.
And a pale moon mouthpiece.
Yeah. Maybe I did put one silver under the shoulders. One stripe of silver.
Yes, one stripe of silver. Yep.
And my parents were coming when I was working on this flute. So I was working on it without even looking at it. And I feel like subconsciously I didn't want to look at it because...
You didn't like what you saw.
And I was working on it. And then I basically finished what you could see would look like the flute. Actually, I did a quick polish, which was not great, but enough. And then my parents came here, we went for dinner, and during dinner I thought of the flute, and I thought, I think I don't like it. I think I hate that flute. I hate how it looks. It's like, but why? It has the Honduran rosewood Burl, it has the pale moon, it has the Amboyna. That turquoise looked so beautiful. I didn't even know what I was going to do for a totem yet. Because it's how I do.
That's the part that I want to talk about too.
I know.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So we got back from dinner. I went to grab the flute first thing, and I was like, confirmed, I hate it. And I brought it down. And we started talking about it. David had a great insight. Then you had some ideas, and I added some ideas. And I was in the shop at 5 a.m. the next day working on it.
Yeah.
And in 4 hours, like in 4 or 5 hours, I fixed what I really wanted to fix.
And really what you did is you cut off the pale, well, you didn't cut the pale moon ebony mouthpiece off. You made a tenon out of it.
Because that original tenon grabbed the whole inlay.
So it goes through all of it.
Yeah, and I didn't want to have to do that again.
Yeah, the problem was the flute was bored too deep. And that didn't leave us enough material up here to be able to create the mouthpiece and all the parts we needed.
Yeah.
And so the idea that we worked out together was adding some materials to the front of it and then the mouthpiece that would allow for this incredible Burl to become a flute. And if you can see in this inlay right here, you've got this dark blue azurite going through the middle of this turquoise. Well, the original thing you did had that big band of turquoise and a big band of turquoise
Yeah,
here.
making up for that material that we needed.
And it was too much. And this idea that you came up with, Pablo, adding the azurite to it.
It was your idea, Brent.
Well, you know, thanks, matey.
It was your idea, and I liked it.
Yeah,
and I liked it.
It turned out fabulous.
Yeah.
And here's a funny thing to me on this. While Pablo was doing this, I was making this flute, which I think we're going to call Gift. But I was making this turtle totem, and my sister-in-law had come into town, and she scuba dives, loves scuba diving, has scuba dove all over the world. You know, so she's way into turtles and fish, all that kind of thing. And she got talking to us about the fact that the turtles love to eat the clownfish eggs. And the only place it can get the turtle to go away is if it attacks its eyeballs.
Smart fish.
Smart fish. And so we got talking about maybe adding a clownfish to the flute.
Yeah.
And you ran with the idea.
Well, I said, Brent, you could take stripes of ebony and stripes of paduk or some red, and you can layer them. And then I was like, that would be a cool totem.
And you created this totem.
Yeah.
It is brilliant. And the thing that I love most about this whole story is that we didn't know where you were going with the totem at the time.
Yeah.
We didn't even consider the striping as part of the totem at all.
Yeah.
But when you finish the whole thing, it's like you thought about it from the very beginning, did it with full intention and purpose. It's perfect.
Brent, it leads to a very cool subject, which is when you're working on something that you're so passionate and into, it takes a life of its own.
It does.
And it leads you without you even knowing where you're going.
I agree.
And then you make mistakes, and it's like some energy is pulling you, telling you, no, because
keep going.
Because you need to come here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yes.
And all of a sudden it's like, wow, that was genius, but I don't know if I can take the credit for it.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
Pablo, I feel like that all the time.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, your flutes are so beautiful. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah.
You should have seen it when it was ugly.
Yeah, exactly. So I think like almost every flute has some of that.
Yeah,
and
very much so.
That energy, like life, has its own energy as well.
It's like a creation energy.
Yeah.
Almost. It's because like in my mind, I don't process all those things necessarily.
Yeah.
But I think that perhaps we connect with all life around us, and even though we may not have a conscientious thought of it, we have an awareness.
Well, we're channeling this.
Yeah.
Where do ideas come from? You know, it's like that.